Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. With the grace of Allah Almighty, we had already done two hadiths from Fazaile Aamaal. Topic is Sadaqah. We start with the third hadith. Spend your wealth for cause of Allah and make not your hands contribute to your destruction. And do good. Lo, Allah loves those who are beneficent. Surah Al-Baqarah 195. According to Huzaifa radhiyallahu ta'ala, the command do not contribute you to your own destruction means giving up sadaqah for fear of becoming poor. Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu ta'ala has said, to get killed in the path of Allah is not ruining yourself. In fact, ruination lies in withholding the expenditure on sadaqah. Dozakh bin Jubair rahmatullah alayh has said that Ansar used to spend in the path of Allah and also give things in sadaqah. Once in a year of famine, they changed their minds and stopped this noble practice. On that occasion, this ayat was revealed. Aslam rahmatullah alayh has said that he was one of those who participated in the battle of Constantinople, a large force of the enemy, and advanced to oppose them. A man from their side rushed alone into the enemy lines. Upon this, some of the Muslims started shouting that man had blindly invited his ruination, and they recited this particular ayat in support of their contention. Abu Ayyub Ansari radhiyallahu ta'ala, who was also in the field, got up and said that the action of that man was not self-ruination at all. He said that the ayat of the Quran being quoted by some people referred to the Ansar. He explained that Ansar quietly took a decision among themselves that the time had come for them to engage themselves in improving the lands and farms, etc., in the belief that by the grace of Allah Ta'ala, Islam by then had become predominant and many people beside the Ansar had joined the ranks of its supporters and helpers, and so the Ansar could turn to their fields, plantations, etc., which were in the ruin due to neglect and lack of care. At that juncture, the ayat in question was revealed in order to admonish them that it would be self-ruination if the Ansar gave up jihad for the sake of improving their properties. Durre Mansur. This hadith was taken from the Durre Mansur. Come on, we go for the next hadith. Hadith number 4. People ask you what they should spend as sadaqah. Tell them what they can spare, that is, what is in excess of their requirements. Surah Al-Baqarah. Wealth is meant to be spent. Whatever is left over after meeting personal requirements should be spent as sadaqah. Ibn Abbas has said that after meeting the requirements of one's family, the balance becomes afwa, which means that it is to be spent as sadaqah. Abu Umama radhiyallahu ta'ala has reported Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as saying, O man, give what you can spare for charity. This is good for you. If you hold it back, it will be bad for you. You are not to blame for keeping back just enough for your own requirements. Begin by spending on those who are dependent on you. The upper hand which gives is better than the lower hand which is stretched out for accepting aims. Atta rahmatullah alayh is quoted as having said that Afwa Sayyid Khudri, Afwa means in excess of actual deeds. Durre Mansur, Abu Sayyid Khudri has said that once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when a person has an extra conveyance, he should give it to someone who has none, but whoever have any. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this is so emphatically that we thought that no one would have any right over his own property in excess of his actual needs. Abu Dawud, in fact, the highest virtue lies only in giving away everything that is over and above one's legitimate requirements. Nothing is to be hoarded. Certain ulama has said that afwa means what is convenience and ease, so that no hardship or distress is caused to oneself afterwards. Also that no dependent should be deprived of his or her legitimate rights, which is responsibility of the spender, due to which the latter may get into trouble on the day of judgment. It is narrated that Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhu said, some people used to give so much sadaqah that nothing would be left with themselves, even for eating, and they should be compelled to look for sadaqah from others. It was for this reason that the above ayat was revealed. Abu Sa'id Khudri radhiyallahu anhu has said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, seeing the very poor condition of a person just arrived in the masjid, asked the people to give him clothes as sadaqah. Plenty of this were contributed. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave 2 garments out of this to the poor man. Later, once again, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam persuaded people to donate as sadaqah. That poor man also gave 1 garment out of his 2, whereupon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed his displeasure and returned the piece to him. Durre Mansur. The glorious Quran does invite us to give in charity in spite of our own requirements, but this is for such people who can do it cheerfully. Because the importance of Akhirah prevails over worldly requirements in their minds. Up to here we had listened 4th hadith. We come to go to 5th hadith. Who is that will lend to Allah a goodly loan so that He may give it increase manifold? Do not fear poverty. Allah straightens and enlarges your provisions, and to Him you will return. It was from Surah Baqarah 245. The act of spending for the cause of Allah has been interpreted as advancing loan to Allah Ta'ala, which means that just as the return of a loan is obligatory, the recompense and reward for the spending in charity is a certainty. That is why sadaqah has been termed as loan. Umar radhiyallahu ta'ala has stated that giving a loan to Allah Ta'ala means spending in charity. Ibn Masud radhiyallahu ta'ala has said that when the above ayat was revealed, Abu Dahdah Ansari radhiyallahu ta'ala came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and submitted, O Rasulullah, does Allah Jalla Shanu desire a loan from us? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, certainly so. He then said, please give me your hand for making a promise. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stretched out his hand towards him, and Abu Dahdah radhiyallahu ta'ala, taking it in his own hand as a gesture of a vow, said that he was giving his garden to Allah Ta'ala as a loan. Then garden has 600 date palms, and his wife and children were living it. Abu Dahdah radhiyallahu ta'ala went to the garden, called his wife Dahdah radhiyallahu ta'ala, and told her that they had to leave the garden as it had been given away to their Lord Allah Ta'ala. Another hadith by Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu ta'ala says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam distributed that garden among some orphans. Still another hadith says that when the sacred ayat was revealed, saying, Man ja'a bil hasanati falahu ashru amsaliha. Whoever earned a single virtue would receive 10 times the reward for it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made a dua, O Allah, compensate my ummah even more than that. As a result, this ayat was revealed. Man zalladhi yukrizu Allah qardan hasanan fazaifahu lahu al'afan kathira. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam again implored Allah for a further increase. Up to this we have seen hadith number 5. Come on, let us continue. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam again made supplication saying, O Allah, increase the reward of my ummah. Thereupon the ayat was revealed, Innama yuwaffa sabiruna ajrahum bighairi hisab. That whoever is steadfast will receive a full return which will be boundless. Surah Al-Zumar, ayat number 19. Another hadith says that an angel came, calls out, whoever offers a loan today will receive a full compensation tomorrow. Another hadith says that Allah Jalla Shanu proclaims, O man, entrust your treasure to me for safe custody. None of this will catch fire, nor sink, nor be stolen. You will receive this back from me at the time when you need for them will be the greatest. This hadith was from Dure Mansoor. Subhanallah wa hamdi. Subhanakallah wa hamdika wa ashhadu la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun al mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ya rabbal alamin.